It's a fully built, super modern, biggest gold mill in Europe, 2 million ounces, possibly growing to 4 million, in Finland, ready to turn on in the next 2 months and take advantage of the record prices. So Laiva Gold is a giant ATM machine. Literally, at this price, it would generate at least 8 million euros profit a month before the market continues to run, before Jim and the team and John Williamson and the team start to grow the business. Very deeply discounted valuation, 40 million Canadian at this current round, versus the cost to build it today would be at least 400 to 500 million euros. How do we get that re-rating over time? And obviously you get a re-rating by listing the company. And we're using Egmont Gold as the listing vehicle on the CSE. So they're committing 15 million Canadian to restart this summer. And everyone on this call is able to participate in that round at 80 cents with a half warrant at $1.20. Please go on to laivagold.com and you'll find Edward Baum. He's a lovely English chap. Just reach out to Ed and say you'd like to learn more about what we're doing. And we love talking to anyone who wants to learn about our business and our group.
All right, today we're having a chat with Jeremy Gray, the CEO of Laiva Gold, who's doing a very transformative deal with the Metals Group. Perhaps, Jeremy, you can give us an update on how everything is going over there.
Oh, Laiva Gold and the Metals Group are going really well. They've been on site last week or 2 weeks ago. They've chosen the shell Egmont Gold. They'll be the listing vehicle for Laiva Gold on the CSE. And they're committing 15 million Canadian to restart this summer. But we've also noticed a lot of interest from our own shareholders to participate.
It is definitely a very exciting asset, and perhaps we can quickly touch base on that as well as the round that's currently ongoing. So perhaps you can give us a quick, short and sweet summary of what Laiva Gold is all about.
Yeah, Stein, we bought Laiva Gold in November of 22. We always had a view that gold would have a run. It's a fully built, super modern, biggest gold mill in Europe, 2 million ounces, possibly growing to 4 million, in Finland, ready to turn on in the next 2 months and take advantage of the record prices. So we believe this is going to just become a bigger and bigger business over time, where we can expand the 6,000 ton a day mill. And it's just a really very deeply discounted valuation at 40 million Canadian at this current round, versus the cost to build it today would be at least 400 to 500 million euros. So really deep value proposal for the investors, and what a time to bring it on. Wow, market's so strong.
Yes, and we'll talk about that market more in just a bit. Now, quickly, a bit more into the section that's currently going on, where you're standing, what are the updates, what are the timelines, and when will this world-class gold mill be producing gold once again?
We expect to sign the definitive agreement in the next 2 weeks, and that will be the first tranche of 7.5 million Canadian going into the private round, and everyone on this call is able to participate in that round at 80 cents with a half warrant at $1.20, good for 18 months, and really just get going. Like I said, the Metals Group, who've come from the Founders Metals fame in Suriname, they've come off some very big wins. They have a Rolodex that ensures that this is well capitalized and going into a startup for this summer. The last gold pour, to give you an idea, Stein, was 1,200 euros an ounce. And we're very close to 3,000 euros an ounce. Can you believe that? 3,000 euros an ounce. Laiva Gold is a giant ATM machine in the central Finland. Literally, at this price, it would generate at least 8 million euros profit a month, at least, before the market continues to run, before Jim and the team and John Williamson and the team start to grow the business. It is just a huge cash generator. And it's got 3 million tons of low-grade stockpile just sitting there ready to process. It has just abundance of opportunity to grow the business. It's just going to be a phenomenal success.
Definitely, the gold price has been going parabolic in recent times, as you outlined, almost 3,000 euros per ounce as we speak. Now, you have been making some interesting claims about where you think gold will go in the next 12 to 24 months. So perhaps you can give us an overview. What is your outlook on gold the next 12 to 24 months?
It's obviously had a huge run recently. It may stall out for a month, but I think it's going to power ahead very soon. And the key driver is the fact that the LBMA, the COMEX, the bullion banks are short just crazy amounts of gold, physical gold. They don't have it. That's all paper shorts. And they're standing for delivery. So the customers are standing for delivery. So the market is primed for a very, very powerful move, and something that I think we've not seen in our lifetime. There's been no new gold mines built in the industry for the last 12 years because there's been a nuclear winter in supply. And Laiva Gold's one of the few new gold mines coming on the market this year. You can literally count them on one hand. So really exciting times to bring a business of this size and scale on in a market that's just super hot and going to get hotter.
And we'll talk about M&A more in just a bit, of course. But before that, what is your take on this thesis of gold flowing out of the LBMA in London towards the COMEX, of course, having to be refined in between, but really this mysterious big buyer in the US buying up this physical gold? What is your take roughly on this?
It's a very big subject. You could spend half an hour talking about it, but the physical demand is not just the American buyers. It's all over the world, all the central banks, high net worths. I mean, I've said before, in the old days, people sort of talk about how rich they are by how many billions they have in their bank accounts. Soon it'll be how many tons you have in your house. And a ton goes for nearly 100 million now. And I challenge Bill Gates to try and buy 50 tons. I bet you he can't do it. That's 50 billion, which for him is like nothing, right? It's not even one day's interest that he earns in the bank. I don't think he could buy 50 tons. There's just no supply, and it's an industry that's been totally starved of capital for so long. Try and build a mine like that in Finland today. It will take you at least 10 years. Permitting, financing, construction. And you've been there, Lars. You've seen a sign. You've seen this beautiful business. You should show some of the great footage that you and Lars took. It's brand new. It's ready to turn on. But honestly, I don't think it's just about what the tariffs. I think this is a big fundamental problem in the gold market. Huge shorts in the LBMA, the COMEX, the bullion banks. And I think we're going to hit 4,500 very soon. I mean, when these things go, they go super fast. And we're all trained, let's be honest, we're all trained to, by 12-year bear market, to think it's going to stop tomorrow. We're all trained to believe the rug's going to be pulled under our feet at any moment, and we're going to be back at 1,600 gold. But you watch, I think 4,500 gold this year is going to be, could be conservative by the end of this year. We could go, and by that stage, it could be well above that. So what a time to be bringing Laiva Gold, the biggest mill in Europe, the biggest gold mill in Europe, back on in such an incredible market.
Yeah, a world-class facility, that's for sure. And talking about M&A, you're of course a bit close to the fire than I am, and perhaps the viewers at home are also. What is your general stance on M&A in the gold sector? Of course, what you're currently doing with the metals group is a form of M&A. Should we expect more M&A in the small caps, mid caps, and large caps in the gold sector?
Oh, it's really starting to go parabolic. I mean, we have 3 gold companies: Laiva Gold, Tucano Gold, and Pilar Gold. Pilar's had 6 different approaches recently for mergers. Laiva Gold, as you remember, had 3 takeover approaches last year, and I wouldn't be surprised that might come back in the interim once we list. And Tucano Gold, I'm sure there's going to be a bid for that at some point. But the key story for me is, when does Rio Tinto make a bid for Barrick Gold? When does BHP make a bid for Newmont? That is, to me, the biggest game changer. And I think it's one of those trades that probably will happen this year. And I almost can't believe that they haven't had a swing at Barrick yet. It's such an obvious trade. So the M&A is going to go super crazy, lots of consolidation. And an industry that has had almost no interest from fund managers, from market, for 12 years now.
Great overview on the market there, and perhaps switching back to Laiva Gold, of course, the main topic of this video. Perhaps you can outline how the next couple of weeks to months will look like. When should we expect the gold mill to start producing again, cash flows, all that good stuff?
Well, obviously, I'm stepping down now. Probably the smartest thing I've ever done is sack myself from the CEO role of Laiva, and I'm handing it over to the professionals at the Metals Group. These guys have done it before. They're very well versed with our business and how to do it. So they're putting 15 million Canadian up to restart the mine. And I suspect our family of shareholders, we have over 700 shareholders in our group now, will probably contribute 3 to 4 million of that additional monies to be super well funded. And I think the idea is to do first gold pour probably in August. It takes time, obviously. We do need to comply with all the different regulations with Ellie, the environmental group, and the Jim, our general manager, who you've met before and done many videos with, is hard at work with that. But no, it's like an August first gold pour, and a market that might be, let's be honest, it might be $3,500, $4,000 an ounce by then. Crazy when you think about it,
Definitely great to think about, and please remind the viewers at home, you currently have a round open for Laiva Gold. What is it all about? How can people potentially reach out to participate? And what is roughly the barrier of entry?
Yeah, please go on to laivagold.com and you'll find Edward Baum. He's a lovely English chap. And Max Beck, who also works in the team. just reach out to Ed and say you'd like to learn more about what we're doing, and we're happy to give you a call and really learn really why this is a sort of investment we think has the potential for a significant re-rating. I mean, we're valuing this thing at 80 cents a share with a half warrant of $1.20. That's a pre-money value, as I said, of only 40 million Canadian. Metals Group are putting another 15 million. So you're looking at a business that is literally not even, 1/7 of replacement cost once it's fully funded. So does it, how do we get that re-rating over time? And obviously you get a re-rating by listing the company. And we're using Edgemont Gold as the listing vehicle on the CSE. So go on to laivagold.com, reach out to us. We have over 700 investors now. And we love talking to anyone who wants to learn about our business and our group. And they've really been the ones that have been key for us to grow the business during the downturn, because it hasn't been easy, Stein. The last 6 years in gold has been just miserable, just awful. And finally now we're turning the corner. And I think it's going to be incredibly exciting next 12 months ahead.
Very exciting next couple of months, of course, for Laiva Gold, and we'll keep our finger on the pulse on this channel. So we'll definitely be in touch when the next update for Laiva Gold comes in. Thank you so much, Jeremy.
Thank you so much, Stein. You guys are the best.